Hello, everybody. I'm Jamie Layfield, the current head of King's Barbers, and I'm here for another Friday at 5 with two very good friends. We've got Mr. North, our head, and Tom Bateman, who's a fellow barber with me. And we also have a very special guest, the Reverend Richard Crossland. So before we ask him about the song that he's written, which we love singing, Liverpool Street Station, I think we should hear it.
The girl that I love has given me the shove. She says I am too low for her station. She says poor men are fools over rich men. She drews so it's rob a bank or take up the pools. I cannot sleep, life goes on and on. I've started taking Mogadon, but love's a sickness doctors can't treat. Where does she sleep? Where does she live? Her place of work to me she didn't ever give. And now I miss the love she takes but won't deliver.
Wow. So 28 years ago, Mr. North first got his hands on the famous Liverpool Street Station. So could you tell us a bit about how you came to write the song?
Well, when it was discovered in Ely, it was already getting on a bit. I think I wrote it in either 1980 or 1981, and it was written lying on a lawn in Bognor Regis on a Wednesday afternoon, following a request for a song for a Radio 4 comedy show that was going out that Friday and was being rehearsed the following morning. So that's why I wrote it. I used to be part of a group that was called the National Review Company, which was a kind of comedy troupe that did Edinburgh Festival and then went round theatres and so on. And I was one of the two music guys in my past life before I became a vicar. So we had to write a song. The request was for something that was named after one of the squares of a Monopoly board.
As you do.
And there were a couple of gaps. I think I was offered the Electric Company or Liverpool Street Station, it was for a show that was a sketch show, a comedy sketch show with a sketch based on each of the squares of the Monopoly board. And someone threw a couple of dice, and if whatever was landed on, this was all on radio, it's very visual for radio really, but whichever it landed on, that was the sketch that we did. So we had the Coventry Street Mime Company, which was terrific on radio. So I did Liverpool Street Station.
Very interesting. Never would have thought when I first sang it that it would be all due to a Monopoly board. But there you go.
Yeah. And it went out that Friday and was an enormous hit, I have to say, because it was picked up that weekend. So it went out twice, and then it was picked up by Start the Week, or not by Start Week, by Pick of the Week. So it went out twice on Pick of the Week, and then it went out on New Year's Day as Pick of the Year. So that was pretty good.
So that being about based on a Monopoly game or a Monopoly board, the poetry in the lines, what's the lyrics? What do the lyrics mean?
Well,
if they have a meaning, I should say.
They do. I mean, the whole idea of this is that it is a catch. It's not a round, it's a catch. And catches were popular, particularly in England. Henry Purcell wrote a large number of catches, some of them quite bawdy, in fact, quite disgusting, one or two of them. Quite a lot of them have to do with drinking. But the whole point of a catch is that if you sing the line through from the beginning to the end, it says one thing. And if you sing it together, it means something else. So there's an 18th century one which says, old John has died, we buried him, and all that sort of stuff. But when you actually sing it together, because of what comes in the gaps and what's the highest note at any given moment, it actually says, old John is not dead at all. So it's a gag in itself of a piece of music that means one thing when you sing it through and something else. So that was the starting point. And therefore you start to write it by dividing Liverpool Street Station into 4 words or bits of words, which are as disguised as possible. So we have pools, and then really to try and write a song about a lost love who could be found if you chose to go there on Liverpool Street Station, but not until you've sung the whole song.
Amazing.
The girl that I love has given me the shove. She says I am too low for her station. She says poor men are fools over rich men. She rules, so it's rob a bank or take up the pools. I cannot sleep, life goes on and on. I've started taking morgadons, but love's a sickness doctors can't treat. Where does she sleep? Where does she live? Her place of work to me she didn't ever give us. She says I never love to take her liver.
Treat
Station.
I cannot sleep, life goes on and on. I've started taking morgadons, but love's a sickness doctors can't treat.
Station.
Where does she sleep? Where does she live?
Fools over rich men.
Didn't ever give
So it's robber bank. Take up the
liver.
pools.
Station.
I cannot sleep, life goes on and on. I've started taking morgadons, but love's a sickness doctors can't treat.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Reverend Crossland, for sharing your secrets behind Liverpool Street Station and behind the music and your past in general. It's been very interesting.
Thank you for asking me. I'm pleased that you enjoy the piece, and I wish you well with your singing in lockdown and for when you emerge to sing in fresh air.
Thank you.
So for our next Friday at 5, we're going to be talking about the infamous Barbers Valentines and our plans for this year. So watch this space and we look forward to it.